out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as the valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. Got the scoop faster than a sprint.
Hey, good morning. It's Tuesday here on the program. Very nondescript Tuesday.
From the courts to the fields, the
Super fight number 2.
Rick's play-by-play.
Apollo Creed, the heavyweight champion of the world, against no longer the upstart, but the number 1 contender, Rocky Balboa. Huh? How's everybody doing? Another warm day in the hood. Lots of rain coming in. Good morning, Prometheus. Good morning, Steven and T-Bird. What's up, everybody? Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Also on our Professional Door Incorporated text line. Here from our Family Fencing Studios here in Reiner. Coming up today, Marvin Miami joins us a little later on in this hour. Brian Siegler from the Boundary Corner and Mike Burnham. Yeah, the farm heritage indeed. Good morning, Henry. Good morning, Darren. Everybody on the text line. Good morning, Mark. Good to see everybody. There we go. Wanted to let the song play. By the way, yesterday I created the shorts feature is back from the studio. So if you go to our BDST channel, you'll see little snippets from an interview with Coach Elmo and with Todd Grantham. So we'll do that going forward as long as I can before they decide to say, if you want to continue to do this, we need $77,000. It's not that high. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, usually, getting up early is a routine, but you usually need your decent night's sleep. I didn't get a great night's sleep. I stayed up. I'm a big hockey fan. I've been a lifelong Sabres fan, and we had a Game 7 last night. Lost it overtime. Stayed up through it. And if you stay up through it, you want to be rewarded with a dub. They could not win home games, which was weird. They lost 3 home games in the series. Home ice in the NHL playoffs is not a thing. Sabres played well in Montreal. They didn't play well at home. But in any event, had a good year. They ended a 14-year run of not making the playoffs. That was the longest between playoff stints in NHL history. And they won a series, but lost to Montreal. Montreal plays Carolina, who's really good, in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it'll be a Carolina-Colorado battle for the Stanley Cup here in a couple of weeks. But, it is what it is. So I didn't get a great night's sleep. Did not get a great night's sleep. But what's up, Chief? Good to see you. Welcome, man. Subscribe and like and share. We'll do the same thing. Yeah, I think a lot of people, I hear that from too, because I'm a big hockey fan. My dad was. But even if you don't follow it and like it, like you don't follow it. Thanks, Coach. Coach Elmo texted me this morning. Yeah, 2 very evenly matched teams, no doubt. I think people really respect the way the players approach the game, and that's the way it was last night. It was a hell of a battle. You saw the jubilation when Montreal got the overtime goal, and then they do the handshake. You can tell the admiration and respect that they have for one another. It's unlike anything in any professional sport. It just is. Those guys grew up on skates, right? It's been their passion since they were. You go back to the speech in the Miracle movie. You were born to be hockey players. It's just a little bit different. It's just a little bit different. So yeah, it was a little disappointing. Last night, to say the least. They've been going back and forth, Prometheus. ESPN and Turner has the NHL playoffs, like on like the NCAA tournament, True TV, TBS, things like that. So you can catch them. It's going to be good finals in each. From the olden days where one Don Stroker would hit a streaking Mike Burnup across the middle. Oh, remind me to bring up Don Stroker. I'm sorry. Yes. Now both of those boys are getting plates of tuna tips and gator bites to nibble. BDST is live and well. Yeah, I think we need to talk more about that with Burnap today. Like, he raved about the tuna tips and gator bites, right? Down at his Florida beach house. I've never had either one, but everybody knows I'm a pretty dedicated carnivore. So, if Burnap, who's a Hall of Famer, is down there and he's telling me the gator bites are just unbelievable, then I think that probably needs to be something. That needs to happen. There's a reason Roth and Burnap are called the buffet buddies, right? They know their craft. So when it comes down to food, that's one thing I'm going to go, okay, you know who else was Dan Callahan, God rest his soul. One of the best high school. Well, he was a great sports writer to begin with, but he really covered high school football in particular so well here in the area. And I was fortunate enough, there were 2 separate stints where I called Pulaski County games with Dan. A lot of times when he was doing it with someone, Randy Thompson or whoever it might be, and Otis, he would be play-by-play. A lot of times he didn't want to do that. He just kind of wanted to chill out, and he wanted to be an analyst. So I would, if I wasn't calling anybody, if I wasn't doing, Blacksburg or Radford, whatever, I would come in. Yeah, I'll come back and do it with you. I just love working with Dan. We started the whole Fourth and Goal show, our high school show. So, and no matter where we went, Dan knew the best spots, and they were always some local place you'd never heard of, right? Because that was the key. And I first learned that from him. And now I try to replicate that when I'm on the road with Radford. If I'm driving separately, you're going to want to try to find somewhere to eat that's unique to that area. You don't want to just go to a chain somewhere. You can get that anywhere. So I'm going to trust Dan's instinct and always find a local place. Gator bites and a moon pie. Still haven't had a moon pie. I'm going to do that on the show. That's going to be maybe I'll do that during our first Big Dog Pop. Fried gator bites are good. I haven't had tuna tips, but had ahia tuna, which is good. Okay. All right. Yeah, I will. I'll bring back the Diet Pepsi for that. I mean, I've already had one this morning, so it's not like I'm not ever going to shake it, but I am doing better. I'm trying. I am trying. Not easy to conquer your addiction. So I'm not looking to conquer it completely. I just want to get it under control. If that makes any sense. Can't remember, where were we? We were traveling somewhere with Dan. It may have been like on the way to Amherst or something. He found this place. I don't know that area as well. Maybe we get David Smith on Thursday. I can ask him. But man, it was like this mom and pop's comfort food spot, and it was just outstanding. Hello there, Next. Good morning. Hey, another Indian viewer. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, we have about 3 or 4 subscribers. I checked again yesterday. We have 14 international subscribers to the show. I've been drinking the probiotic soda. It's not as good, but it gives me the fizz. Yeah, always been a Pepsi guy. Yeah, my granddad loved Pepsi, drank his coffee with a spoon, sip by sip. That's funny. Yeah, I've always been a Pepsi. I never liked Coke. My mom loved Coke. I never liked Coke. Ever. Remember when they changed the formula? Remember when they went to the new recipe? Remember how controversial that was? And Pepsi claimed it was the copy of their formula, which a lot of people agreed with, that it actually worked at Coke. We are in the United States, southeastern part, Southwest Virginia, to be specific. I was at Gobble Stop on Price's Fork yesterday and saw a man buy 4 moon pies. 4? Wow. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, I do remember Crystal Pepsi. I do. I really, really do. Yeah, the Van Halen song. So the whole thing, remember that there was a lot of soft drinks that went through that clear era, and I don't know why. He may be in rehab this. Yeah, if he ate them all, you think that was his dinner? You think or you had one at lunch, just said, you know what? I'm going to finish off the day and have 3 more moon pies. But there were a lot of drinks that went clear, weren't there, Wayne? It seems like that was a trend. Zima, yeah, there you go. Welcome, Ajko Tranio. Please subscribe. Moon pies without a Dr. Pepper is a travesty. If you're at a place called Gobble Stop and don't buy moon pie, you are a communist. Well, the Gobble Stops are all around now. Yeah, they changed the name. You can survive just with moon pies, Prometheus says. I'm going to do one. I'm going to have one. I'm going to have one. You know what? Does anybody remember? I saw them the other day. They're called Devil Dogs. And I don't know the company that makes them. It might be Dolly Madison, somebody like that. You know what I'm talking about? The Devil Dogs. They're the they don't have icing on the outside. They got the chocolate kind of like they're shaped in a kind of a sphere. It was 6 p.m. He thinks the moon pie stack was supper. Yeah, well. But the Devil Dogs, they have the really delicious like Bavarian cream inside or something. I don't know, man. Moon pies, gator bites, and varsity blues to make it nice. Yeah, to take care of three things that I've never seen or done. Yeah, have your gator bites. Or do you have a gator bite and then every now and then take a bite of moon pie? Kind of have your salt and your sugar at the same time? Yeah, I need to see Varsity Blues. What's up, Stanley, on the text line? Oh, you missed it. Oh, it was Field of Dreams. Stanley asking who won the movie poll. Who was the favorite movie? Field of Dreams by a whole bunch, Stanley. Sticking with apple fritters. Ooh, I love apple fritters at the fair. Ooh. All that deep fried as well. Can you deep fry moon pie? No, I'm not going to go to Panera and get a tea one. No, that's not. Panera tea that has the instant gum repair medicine in it. Some things now I'm getting all these things people are sending me. This is what you love most about doing the show, just interacting with people, and then you take it in a direction. I'm just going to go with you. Matthew asked me on the text line, have you ever eaten hog brains? No, but my dad used to. He used to mix them, and I know. He used to mix them in scrambled eggs, and some of the things that he would eat out of the animal that never really made a lot of sense to me. You can deep fry anything, especially if you're Scottish. Oh, wow. So T-Bird says aloe flavored tea. Yes, people dip moon pies in batter and fry them. Well, there you go. Winter chicken dinner. Maybe that's what the gentleman did, T-Bird, last night. You can deep fry anything, Morris says. Gator bites are deep fried. I'm not sure about the tuna tips. Varsity Blues is kind of like to show friends if they were playing football. Yeah. Hated friends. The horrible laugh track. Ask Bernie. Yeah, I do need to ask him about the crab dip. Yeah, remind me too, guys, because I'll forget. But yeah, I can't remember what that was. He was talking about a certain market down there near his house, and he would have to rush down there to get the crab dip. It was so popular, but then it went way up. Yeah, we have to ask him about what that was. That's a good call. Brisket deep fried in corn dog batter and covered in a honey barbecue sauce. I think he walked to his car and mainlined his moon pies. Minnesota State Fair used to have deep fried butter bites. Why does that sound both like an instant heart condition, but yes, I would try one. Doesn't it all sound good though when you're at the fair? Can't you sit there? Can't you sit there when you're at a fair or whatever amusement park? Usually it's a fair, and no matter what they're cooking in some weird variety, you're going to go, yeah, give me one of those. The segment should be called Off the Cuff. I just love the fact we just eased right into it. Hey, that's fine. There's not a lot going on sports wise right now. I stayed up with the hockey, didn't get my reward. Disappointing. It is what it is. It is what it is. Richard Simmons wouldn't approve of this section of the show. No, would not. Deep fried Twinkies and Oreos I need to try. You know, I've had people that swear by the fried Twinkies. Yeah, I've heard of that before. This segment of BDST called Off the Cuff, brought to you by, and see, this is where you need a Taylor sponsorship, see? The moon pie could become the official junk food of BDST. Yeah, what happens if I have one? I absolutely love it. Bottomless bucket of chocolate chip cookies and bottomless cup of cold milk. I spent many years north of 250. I understand, man. That's like one of my favorite sweet fetishes right there. And, you know, for me, it's got to be, I like the Chips Ahoy. I don't like it. It doesn't have to be fancy at all. It does not have to be fancy in any way, shape, or form. I just like the Chips Ahoy, dip it down in milk. That's my fave. That's my fave. Get you some kangaroo. No, I've not had any kangaroo. Good for you, Hatchco, to be able to lose that weight, man. Yeah, Mike's Grill was the real deal, wasn't it? Yeah, and simplicity is great. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate you, man. Good morning to you from Missouri. Go Tigers. Corn dogs and chili. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. You get you some good old hot dog chili there now. You get you like a little container and just kind of dip the corn dog in the chili. Oh, yeah. I had, I don't know where we were. It was one of our trips somewhere in the Midwest with Radford basketball. And we stopped, Chad Hyatt and I, when he was traveling with basketball, the head athletics trainer. Oh, thank you, Jason. Thanks for the $1, brother. Appreciate that. Thank you. Any little bit helps keep the show going. Very nice. Appreciate you, man. We talk about all sorts of stuff. And you're always welcome. Tell your friends. What was I talking about? Oh, I had this big old cheeseburger. I mean, it was big too. It covered the whole plate. And I had those onion ring strings, and it had chili on it. And I'm telling you, man, has anybody had chili on a hamburger? Yeah, we try to be positive. We try to have fun. We have great discussions about all sorts of things. We have great guests. And the key to success is not taking yourself too seriously, right? Be serious about what you do, but don't take yourself too seriously. Too many people do that today. I've never understood why Wendy's does not offer that they make fine chili. Pretty sure they could come up with a corn dog. Yeah, wouldn't that be a new meal for them? 100%. Thanks, Jason. Have you been to Texas Tavern in Roanoke? Feels like I have. Yeah, it feels like I have, T-Bird. I don't remember when, but that does sound familiar. Don't know. Years ago. Yeah. Chili size with hamburger with chili. Yeah. Chili side, yeah. Have a hamburger coated in chili, and then you dip it in the chili when you take a bite. A chili cook-off. Wow. Now, is that one, Jason, where you have like the hot peppers? Is it like a contest to make it hotter? All sounds like great items to keep in the Globo gym and snack machine. I do like me some dodgeball. Look at Wayne. See, Wayne's he's a worldsman is what he is. I was a manager at Wendy's, the super bar. Tacos, pasta. I'm telling you what, man, when you really want a hamburger, and I don't have it very often, I don't need a lot of fast food other than sometimes Chick-fil-A. I'll eat that more than anything. But when you get the double at Wendy's and you're in the mood for it, man, that thing hits the spot. The double at Wendy's is really good still when you want it. The chili cook-off, Jason says, was a coliseum full of people doing a big, that is cool. And man, those people take it seriously. Don't ask for ketchup on a hot dog at Texas Tavern. They call it sissy sauce. Try peanut butter and chili. Really? Yeah, see, I agree with you. Prometheus, I could not agree with you more. This whole thing of sitting there in a three-piece suit talking about sports is stupid. Broadcasting games in suits. They stopped the juicy, though. Remember the grease on the wrapper that made it? Yeah, I do. Chili cook-offs is what we got. Spicy, con carne, and beans. Yeah, okay. I'm not as much of a chili beans guy. I just like, I know it's lame, I guess, to a lot of people. I'm more of the hot dog type chili, just straight up chili without beans. Brian says, I remember the Wendy's Super Bar. We used to crush that thing. Morris asking, that's great that Texas Tavern is still going. By the way, a carnivore diet is the best for your health and can lose weight too. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing now. All right, Jason, I don't ever poo-poo anybody's recipes. Respect them because there's a reason that people created them and keep making them. Wayne, you're the most interesting man in BDST, a manager at Wendy's too. He is. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. He's a worldsman, like I said, Wayne from Ohio. You can do worse than a Wendy's burger. I'm just saying. Five Guys is my favorite if you're going to get one at a chain. Just get one bag of their peanut oil fries and share that amongst the group because they put so many in there. Yeah, correct. You got to have some carbs. There are some carbs, correct. So when I fought, I had to live that. And exactly. People have a misnomer about carbs. Just depends on the kind that you have. We're in Southwest Virginia, Jason. We cover it all college football, NFL, you name it, we cover it. We're in Southwest Virginia, about 40 minutes away from North Carolina, 30 minutes away from West Virginia. We're like the hub. Thank you. Yeah, Wayne actually got me that. Wayne from Ohio. As a matter of fact, this is how I opened the show today. If you weren't here early when we started, there you go. I had Super Fight number 2 up on the screen right there. No longer an upstart, Cinderella story. Rocky Balboa, the number 1 contender, going for the title against the undefeated heavyweight champion, Apollo Creed. There you go. That's how we started the show today. What's up, Sovir? Good to see you. Please subscribe, like, and share. Pete, hang on. I missed a couple of chats. First job was at KFC. Well, there you go. Penn Jillette, the Las Vegas musician, did a potato diet, I think it would have killed me. Yeah, it doesn't sound very promising. Wayne worked on the docks tying up the large coal ships in Newport News post office. Well, that's awesome, man. You learn a lot about yourself and about law, about life, working all those jobs, man. Now, you should come here sometime, Jason. I've been to your state before, traveling through there. Yo, Polly. Absolutely. Never worked fast food. However, I have milked chum, built fence, baled hay, and raised some hell. Yep. Done many of those on the old farm. We never had milk cows, though. You just had beef cattle. Wayne seldom drinks beer. But when he does. Is Wayne now the new most interesting man? Is he? Is he the most interesting man in America?
Oh my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
Well, apparently that's the case. Got to see an ocean. Never seen one yet. Oh, wow. Well, Virginia Beach, there's some areas that are nicer than others. Oh, 35. You got plenty an opportunity. Plenty of opportunity. Hey, New Zealand's checking in. Good morning. Wayne says I'm the most boring man. I don't believe that, Wayne. I know that's not true, Wayne. I noticed Clemson hired Chad Morris back as offensive coordinator. Yeah, that feels like Dabo is really just he has not adapted at all to the portal era. He's having trouble. He's having trouble down there. Yeah, you'd like Virginia. Yeah, hello, New Zealand. That's awesome. We don't have a New Zealand subscriber yet, so if you subscribe, you'll be the 15th nation represented here on BDST. I believe we're getting close to the end of Dabo. If Clemson has another, 7-5, 6-6, I don't believe it'll be a situation where they're going to fire him. But I believe he would talk it over. He's done so much and just say, I'm out of here. We'll see. I don't know. See, Wayne, this is how you and I just know each other. What's up, Nisha? Yesterday, sitting around the office at work, I had an afternoon. I had to take Boa. I had to take Mr. Creed to the vet just to get, updated stuff. He's fine. So before I left, I was looking at, and I typed it into the thing. I'm like, okay, so if this thing's so revealing, like it's supposed to be, and I watched the interview with the director and the producer, and they're very adamant. Why has it not been picked up yet? I mean, this thing came out. Remember when we talked about this? This was at the end of February heading into March. And it originally had a March 15th date. You too, Jason. Thank you so much, man. Stop by anytime. If you miss it, you can go back and watch. We'll have shorts up after the show. Tell all the folks there in your beautiful state to subscribe. Appreciate you. You have a great day. But so, Wayne, I looked it up. They still don't have a distribution deal for Finding Bigfoot. Yeah, man. We'll see you next time. And that confuses me a little bit. Well, Morris, you're too kind. Great to see so many new people actually contributing to chat. That's great. Not just a bunch of bots popping up saying disgusting things. Wait a minute. Food City in Pulaski has Bigfoot birdhouses for sale? So they don't have any distribution rights yet, and they pulled it. They claim they had scheduled to do a lot more of these private viewings of this thing down in Texas, and then they pulled it. They were claiming piracy concerns. And maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I've never distributed my own film. But here we are now, middle of May, heading into Memorial Day weekend, and we still don't have an update on when anybody's going to be able to watch this thing. And I'm going to watch it. I want to watch it. But you can see the interview on YouTube with the director and the producer and the things that went into it. And we'll say. He does. It's true. I mean, if you sign up for the whole thing, you get the backstage access. With Saban retired, who will the Resurrection football coaches go to now? Ooh, asking for my friend Deb. I don't know. Yeah, I saw that too. And then it was Bill Munns. I know exactly who you're talking about, Prometheus. I saw that interview. I saw that. Yeah, the guy, if you watch Harry Man Road, he's still so adamant that, I don't know. Bill Munns then got criticized. Nobody wants to believe it all. People just want to completely debunk it. Yeah, this whole thing about the film, it was, Kodachrome from 66, but there's no way to tell when it was actually used. If he was and he was planning to here's the thing people get confused about. You saw this too, Prometheus. He being Roger Patterson, planned to make a documentary anyway, because I don't think he ever thought he was going to run across Bigfoot. So and he has a lot. There's a book out trying to disprove the whole thing too that came out a couple years ago. And I know he's a little shady, some of the things that he had done, they talk about his past, but they're trying to rip his character down. And people are asking the question, well, a guy who was so interested in Bigfoot, what happened? How did he just happen to run across one at the place he decided to go? And I understand all the skepticism. I do. But I want to see this documentary. If it's supposed to be the end for all, they're estimating that little 59 seconds of Patty walking across that open, floor forest bed before she, I'm telling you. You would think that some distributor like Amazon or Netflix would have eaten this thing up by now. And maybe they do have a deal. They're just working on it. I don't know. I don't know what goes into that. But I think it got a big buzz immediately when it came out. And now it's kind of fading away. They didn't take advantage of strike when it's hot. So I don't know what's going on there. Hobby Lobby has a whole cool Bigfoot and Godzilla section. Ooh, okay. Yes, I go to Hobby Lobby after Panera. I want to believe. Correct. 100% Prometheus. Yeah. Okay, so sure. If you were filming a documentary, just like you do in a movie, you're going to have a rehearsal. Well, they're trying to say that this all of a sudden randomly discovered after 60 years footage, which sounds a little suspicious to me anyway, shows that this was the actual dry run for the Patty footage. Well, I don't know. I want to see them. I want to see it. Dr. Jeff Meldrum's in it. They claim that he was very upset. Thank you, Morris. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know how that works with the monthlies and all that. I think you have to get to a certain level and then you get that money. I think it just sits there. What's up, Tebow? It's the Broncos. Yeah, the Broncos schedule's front loaded, man. First 6 weeks are going to make or break the season. Yeah, I hate the NFL schedule. I hate all this moving games around, and part of the draw and the whole thing. It's going to make they do, but they don't care. They know there's more money to be made, but they're going to out this whole NFL Sunday ticket. They're going to make it obsolete by moving so many games off of it, and that's why I subscribe to it to watch the Broncos. And now I may not be able to watch the Broncos on Sunday ticket. And if you're going to move games off of there as much as you do, you should adjust the pricing. But it's the NFL. Marva's going to join us here in just a moment. And I'll make sure I send her invites to both addresses here. What's up, Chris Lester? Where's Marva's second one? There we go. Yep, there we go. We're good now. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, it stays tabulated, but it doesn't. I don't get it until later. Well, you think Chewbacca costume, 1977, not as good as that suit? Exactly. So, and those filmmakers are claiming that it was Patterson himself who made the suit. No. If there was a real Bigfoot, we would have seen one strapped to a car riding through town during hunting season by now. Just saying. I know you will, Morris. You've got my back. I appreciate it. What we need is more NFL games played in foreign countries, right? Let's completely take it away from American fans. And you know what, Tebow, going back to your whole schedule thing too, I know they base everything on last year, and how many times does that not work out? You can get a couple games into the season and immediately one team may have an injury or they're not as good as they were the year before. Then all of a sudden that very difficult strength of schedule that people are tabulating before the season starts becomes easier. And then later on in the year, when you're supposedly having an easier schedule, all of a sudden becomes a little harder percentage-wise. So Dr. Middleton said in an interview he reacted like that because they told him that rehearsal was before the real video, after he got all the information. Yeah, I got to see it, man. I got to see it. Will more UVA fans travel to Brazil for the home games? Potentially. There she is, draped in her Carolina blue. It's Miss Marva in Miami. How you doing, Marva?
I am doing great, Rick. Countdown is underway over here.
For what? What are you doing?
School's almost out.
Oh, that's right. When is it? Is this week or is it next week?
It's next week for my son. It finishes up next week. My daughter finishes up the following week. So school's out.
What's the vacay plans? Where y'all go? Did you tell me you're going? You're driving. You drive to a certain place every year.
Well, North Carolina, that's a long way, but we will make it up to North Carolina in July. And we're still debating over whether we're going to fly out to Texas, like to the Galveston area.
That's right. Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, if you're ever driving back through your old digs here in Southwest Virginia, you should stop by. We'll just have
it's just
you can stay here. We can do the show.
That's a long way, but I would like to make it back up there. It's a beautiful area.
Well, the era misses you, Marva.
We
miss you.
I'm just a little afraid, though. I don't want to run into Bigfoot, so.
I think you have skunk ape down in Florida is what they call it.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird creatures.
Have you seen any gators and stuff? Like, do you see anything walking around?
Gators since I've been here. The thing I've seen that's weird is we have very big iguanas. I've seen iguanas where I'm like, I need to steer clear because some of them are really big. And during certain times of the year, they can become aggressive. But there are other times they just ignore you. Like I've been in my car, I've seen an iguana, and I said, I think I need to stay in my car until this iguana goes on its way. But for the most part, they leave you alone. but they're just, some of them are so huge, and
Yeah,
they're
kind of startling. Yeah, you're like,
yeah,
whoa.
and dynamic colors, like they're orange ones, like bright green, and it's just like, wow.
Now this is a serious question. I don't mean this to be. I'm not trying to be morbid here, but do they have like here they've extended hunting season because there's just way too much overpopulation of deer?
Yeah.
Do they do that for the iguanas? Do they just capture? Do they do anything?
I had a interesting neighbor once. I'll just say interesting, and he used to set out traps for them, because I don't know why. Like, I just felt like they weren't really bothering people. Just let them go. They do have extended or have a hunting season for pythons, because in the Everglades, pythons aren't a problem. They're an invasive species, so they really shouldn't be here, and they kill up a lot of things that should be here.
Sure.
So they do. That's a big deal every year when they have the big python hunt, and people come out and see the biggest one they can catch. Now, fortunately, I have not seen one of those just in the wild. I've only seen the pictures, after they do the big hunts and stuff.
Okay. All right. So that's cool, because Prometheus just asked about pythons. So he was just asking.
Yeah, there are a lot in, if you in that area, if you go down to the Everglades, there are lots of pythons, and there are a problem. The iguanas, I mean, I'm guessing they could be a problem. I don't know. But my neighbor was just like, he had this weird thing he made, and he put up trying to catch the pythons, and I was kind of going for the pythons because I didn't know what this guy was going to do.
You're rooting for the python.
He was an interesting guy. They're no longer my neighbors.
Which means he was troubled, and you didn't like living so close to him. That's what that means.
Because he always says, he's a handyman. He was always telling if you guys need anything fixed, just call me, and I can. And I was just like, I think we're good. But
I think we got it. I can do stuff, and I also have a husband. I'm good.
Yeah, but thank you.
Morris asked Marva, have you listened to graduation speaker for the Carolina graduation? Apparently Eric Church was there, the country.
I haven't. I know Eric Church is a big Carolina fan. It's not uncommon to see him at games. But no, I have not listened to his speech. But yeah, he is.
Invasive species are usually open season. What's up, PC? Yeah,
well, they have like a special though. There's a special time where they like have rewards and stuff for the pythons. So I mean, I don't think you get in trouble for taking out a python at any time. But this is a special period where they give rewards for, I guess, like the longest one you find, or maybe the biggest weight wise, stuff like that. It's a big deal for people who are into that type of thing. People come from all over to do the special python hunt.
T-Bird
not
says,
me.
No, not you. You're not going to be down there with your camouflage.
No, not me. But
your hunting hat.
No.
Oh
yeah, Florida's wild. There's some wild stuff here.
T-Bird says that Bigfoots eat iguanas like vanilla wafers. Is that what he said? Like vanilla wafers.
So maybe we need to be trying to bring in, big feet. What do you call a group of them? I don't know. Bring them in from outside.
No, Bigfoots. I think I've heard. I don't think
you just call them Bigfoots.
Bigfoot, okay. Or sometimes exactly.
What about? It's not my area.
Tebow asking, what kind of are there massive cockroaches down there?
Yes, there are. And the funny thing is, they've given them a cute name. They call them palmetto bugs because I guess they think that sounds better. It's not any better. I mean, again, there's all kinds of weird stuff. I mean, I used to live closer to the water, and sometimes you would see like a crab, like in a parking lot. It's a crab walking in a parking lot.
A big one? Really, a big crab walking through the park?
It's wild. Like it's a beautiful place. I love the climate, but yeah, there's weird stuff.
It's mutual laws walking.
If I go somewhere, I don't like to park because of the iguanas. I don't like to park near a tree a lot of times because even though that would be great shade, a lot of times the iguanas go up in the tree and you really don't want them to come down to your car.
Oh, so I guess that's true.
Yeah. I will park in an exposed place and deal with the sun instead of parking near a tree where, you get that nice shade because of the iguanas. So
imagine sitting in your car in your tree, and all of a sudden you hear this noise and iguana just jumps out of the tree on top of your car.
And I've never had that happen, but I've seen them up in the trees. And so like there's this one place I used to go frequently, and I would always try to park near a tree because it's, a little bit of shade because it's so hot. But then when I started to see iguanas in the trees, I said, no, I'll park in the open area where it's really hot. I'll deal with the heat rather than an iguana getting down on my car. Even though I don't think they would do me any harm. It's just nerve-wracking though to see.
So many peeps are saying, Marvin, you need to Christopher Lester and Morris and Rodney saying you need to look at the graduation speech.
Oh, was it okay? Is this a good
Carolina.
thing or a bad thing?
No, a good thing. It was
Okay,
really
good.
good.
Okay. You're making me
really
nervous.
No,
yeah,
no.
I'll definitely seek it out. But I was not surprised when they asked him because he is around the program a lot and is a big fan. So it's a good thing.
What was your high temp yesterday? That's right. We're issuing a challenge.
Though it is starting to get hot down here. I don't know. Do you guys having a bit of a heat wave too?
We got up to 90 yesterday.
90.
Did we beat you in Miami? Did we?
I don't even see for what it was for yesterday. I don't remember. I know it was really hot, but today it's only going to be 86 here. So what are you guys looking at?
We're looking at a pretty hot day again today. Maybe not as hot. Let's see. We got a lot of rain coming in.
Yeah.
We got 80. We got 86 too.
Oh wow, we're the same. Yeah. How nice. What is it there right now? Isn't that great? It's 78 here right now, so it's already pretty warm. But
see, Marvin, you and I have always had a connection, even temperature-wise, in random states.
Yeah, so you can go out now. You can do fun things outside. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nice pair of boots. Is that Tim? Who is that?
Which one?
Tebow?
Yeah,
is it Tim? He's listening?
Tebow's out here.
Yeah,
no, Tim Tebow. Yeah, he loves the show.
Oh wow, I know.
Yeah, he loves the show.
I love Tim Tebow.
Yeah. He's a good dude, actually. He got a lot of. He's actually turned. He does. Like, you see all the stuff that he does with the special needs kids.
Oh yeah, good.
Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable work that he's doing with those kids. Special Olympics and all that stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool. Good dude.
And he listens to the show regularly.
He loves the show.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. He was such a good college football player. He took college football. I mean, he was a mega star in the sport.
I mean,
and
I still remember the speech he gave in the locker room.
I mean, he was with my team. He was a Bronco, right? He played. He
started. He had one really good game, right?
He had a good, decent 1 year. And then the playoff, he hit Demarius Thomas on the first play of overtime. Correct. Demarius really made the play with the run, but and then
he had to get the ball to him, though, Rick. Come on, give Tim some
credit. Know he made a good throw.
Okay.
He played pretty well for the Broncos. He gets a lot of criticism, and he tried to play baseball. Mm-hmm. He just wasn't that guy.
I mean, it's hard. So few people, make it to that level. He should still be proud that he got there. And it's hard. We sit back and watch and we criticize and we talk, and the person you would not believe how good the person at the end of the bench. You don't even see this guy.
I know.
How good of an athlete he is. It's the best of the best who get to start and make it for themselves.
Tebow says iguana on my car equals a nice pair of boots. Wow. Chris Lester says only
during mating season, like they can be kind of like I've seen two iguanas fight before, and I'm like just trying to make sure that they're not noticing honoring me. Yeah. Especially
at the beach,
ones, like they're scary.
Chris says at the beach it's only 73. Wow, that's perfect. Actually, that's nice.
Chilly there.
Well,
that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. That's an awesome day. 73 at the beach.
That's right. Morris is down there in Florida, so he knows when it gets cold, the iguanas start falling from the trees.
Oh yeah. If it freezes or gets towards freezing, and people think that they're dead, they're not dead, but they just kind of go into this
they fall out of the trees
because they go into a deep sleep and they can't, when it gets cold. That's how they survive. And then when it warms up, they start to fall out, and it's a big news story. Is it cold enough for falling iguanas? So again, Rick, this is a weird place. It's I don't think it's like anywhere else in the country.
I was thinking about your alma mater. We all know Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. You also have produced the greatest defensive football player of all time, right? Yeah. You have two claims of fame there.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. People at work, these younger folks, are talking about they don't. What kills you?
They don't know the history.
I say the name Lawrence Taylor, and like, who? I'm like, oh, really? You really? I mean, even I know players from my the past that I didn't get to watch. But, my dad, my mom.
The thing is, though, if you didn't get to watch someone, like you might know a name, but you
it's
don't
like
really. But you don't know their, it is sort of, but you don't really know their game.
Mia Hamm.
Yes.
That's right. Greatest women's soccer.
Yes.
Thank you, Wayne.
So
At least
a great legacy there with these sports names. But I will speak just in defense of these younger people, because if you didn't see someone, it's a little different just hearing about it. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
I'm thinking about players I didn't get to see. I know their names and I can acknowledge, yes, they were very good. But if I didn't get to see them play, it's a little bit harder for me to, I guess, be as maybe passionate about them. Like, yeah, I acknowledge them, but I don't know. So, show them some tape.
Never said that, Wayne and Prometheus. Don't forget about Drake May. He's the Michael Vick of the ACC. I used to have a clip that was taken out of context. We trimmed it out. It was when Neil was producing the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he left out the beginning of the sentence, which I said, people are acting like Drake May is the next Michael Vick. And
right.
So when he took out the first part, it just says, here's me saying, Drake May is the next Michael Vick. So it was funny.
But, Drake
Good
May.
call. Good call.
Oh, there's so many people that say he's definitely the future of the NFL. So
we got to talk about
been to one Super Bowl, and who knows how many more.
I guess I have put it behind in my subconscious. But Marva showed me something during the week.
Oh yes, please show this. Can you, if you have it?
I don't
know if you can. Can you?
Yeah.
You get in trouble? I don't know. Tell people to search it out, though. Search it out. They can find it.
Search it out. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want you explain what you sent me, knowing my affinity for this guy when he was in college.
Rick has loved Trevor Lawrence ever since he was at Clemson, right? He loves him, that flowing mane and just his attitude and everything. Well, beautiful
locks, beautiful golden locks.
Yes. For some reason, he got a haircut, and it was a very bad haircut too.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. And I said he's never gonna. I'm worried now about his career.
It's like Samson. It's like Samson in the Bible.
That was his streak.
Don't cut your hair.
And I don't know why he did it. I still don't know. Like, I didn't hear it was about any charity thing, or I think maybe he thinks, well, this will show I'm growing up, I'm mature. But that's not what it's gonna do. I'm worried that he's just going to be a bust now. I mean, I hate to say it, but that is where all of his football knowledge and his skill was. And now he got rid of it.
I know. So it's marketing.
It's on TikTok. It's on TikTok. If you're on there, you can search up, Trevor Lawrence haircut. And it's not even a good cut, Rick. You have to admit, it's not. It's a very odd.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
And I'm just like, why did he do this?
First thing you get when you type in Trevor Lawrence is Trevor Lawrence haircut.
Did he get a mom bob? I've heard some people in the comments that it looked like either their mom or their grandma. I saw that.
Yeah, that's him there now with his hair. He looks like a character from Harry Potter. He looks like the redheaded guy from Harry Potter.
Yeah, it's just not a good look.
I mean, what are we doing?
And again, if we see what happens, I mean, let's see what happens with him this season. If it doesn't go well, that hair will be back.
Yeah, that's true. It was a wig. They're saying
he didn't really cut it.
They're saying he did not. There's controversy around it. That's what they're saying, but
well, I mean, you know how video can be edited to be deceiving.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, because they showed the guy cutting, and then they showed a bunch of hair on the floor. So I'm, maybe I'm hoping it's just a joke.
It looks legitimate to me.
Punking us, and it's just a joke. I'm hoping that's what it is. You know what? Someone says the guy in Remember the Titans. He does remind me of that quarterback too. I've heard that before about him.
Sunshine, a little Sunshine.
That was such a good movie. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, he does kind of look like Sunshine.
It came in number 2 in our poll. We had 168 votes for
like
favorite.
Best sports movie.
Well, it wasn't best. We went with people's favorite.
Oh, favorite.
The best is a totally different thing. So this was favorite, and it was Field of Dreams won.
Oh, okay.
By a lot. I was surprised.
I think there's a lot of nostalgia around that for a lot of people. They watch it at key points in their life.
What's your favorite sports movie?
I mean, Remember the Titans is really good. Give me a minute. I'm sorry. Like, Rick, you're putting me on the spot. Let's see. What about like Bad News Bears? Wasn't that fun with the kids?
Absolutely. The original one? Absolutely.
Yeah, that was fun.
100%. It's a good movie.
Trying to think of other movies. They're just fun. I don't know best, but I thought Any Given Sunday was fun. It was a fun movie.
I liked it. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, fun. It's a fun. Yeah, it's a fun.
Yeah,
movie.
it's a fun movie. But yeah, my favorite though, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
That's okay.
I'll leave those I mentioned though. Those are some of my favorites.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever people's favorite is, that's their favorite. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make them wrong. That's what they like. So.
Yeah, we need another good sports movie. It seems like we haven't had one in a while.
That's a great point. Yeah. I can't remember one. I guess the F1, the racing movie, got a lot of accolades.
And I didn't see that. Was that good?
I don't know. I didn't see it either.
See, that's the problem. We're not. It's just I'm not really that into racing, but maybe if I ever catch it, if it's streaming, then maybe I'll watch. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, I heard it was supposed to be good. I don't know, but I just wasn't that interested.
Yeah, everybody said if you like open wheel racing, it caught it pretty well. I haven't seen it. But
I'll have to ask my husband if he saw. He loves racing. I don't know if he
did. He see it? Yeah.
I don't know because I imagine it's streaming now, so he might have watched it.
May just put it on
without me.
So. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But well, that's good stuff though. We've covered a lot of ground this morning. I don't know. We got to research more as the day goes on about Trevor's haircut, which I will do.
Yeah, please. I hope it is just a joke. I mean, if it's just a joke, that'd be great. But really, if it's not, Rick, we have to be worried about his career.
I think you're right. He just got to the playoffs. He's had a big year.
And then he can't even
cuts his Samson hair, apparently.
Yeah.
We'll see. Allegedly.
So, yeah. I hope it's just a joke. I hope he comes out and says, sorry, guys. Haha. But if he doesn't, I'm worried.
Oh, that's a good question. Timothy asked, Marv, are there any big spiders down there? God, I hate spiders, Marv.
Spiders.
What do you got down there? Oh, those big old.
I had really high ceilings, and there were sometimes I could see there were spiders up there, and I just left them alone because let me back up. The big thing here that annoys me is mosquitoes. There are a lot of mosquitoes, and they're very big. And I've been in my car. I've had to pull over before. There's a lot of them in the car sometimes, and I just said I got to pull over somewhere and get these out of here because they are huge. They're biting me.
They're biting me.
So if I had the spiders, and this is again, I used to live in a place I had really high ceiling. I could see them up there. I just let them live up there. I was like, okay, just if there are any mosquitoes getting here, please get them. And I've been bitten by a spider here too. There was one in a closet. I went in, I didn't know, and I startled it, and the spider landed on my head, and the spider bit me. So that was not a fun time.
But
I didn't notice the spiders being any bigger than other places, though. I don't know. I mean, there may be some that are, but I haven't noticed that. I have noticed how big the mosquitoes are, though. These are not just normal mosquitoes.
Well, here you probably remember the big brown recluse spiders are the ones that just, oh my Lord. Another night, well, it's been about a month. I came home from baseball at Radford. It was a Friday night. Game ran till about 9:30. I got home a little bit before 10. And when I pulled up, I have a little awning where I pull up in the driveway, and right there on the wood on the porch was a big old brown recluse spread out.
What did you do? Do you have to
I immediately tried to kill it. I went to get, I have a bat that I keep down here. And I was going to just kill, but the thing just took off it was like,
oh, wow. So when the lights came on, it took off, or when
when I got close and I was just like, no, is it on me? Did it jump down my throat and I don't know it?
But yeah, I mean, this is scary stuff. I have some friends who live out west, and they have to worry about scorpions. At least we don't have to worry about it. And you don't ever just put on your shoes. Always, turn them over, put them out just in case.
Correct.
So I mean, it's Wild Planet.
Wild. And we had Wild Kingdom in here the other morning about Boa Creed. My kitty, who he came to the door and he had a baby rabbit, and he just had it. And it was squealing.
Was it still alive? Oh no, it was
alive. There was no blood or anything. And he came in.
He was bringing you a gift.
He was, but he opened it. This is in the middle of the show. So I opened the door, and he wanted to bring it inside to take care of it here. So I made the executive decision to wrestle it away from him. I was like, dude, I don't want you killing.
But then what did you do with the baby?
He stayed down here. He kind of hid, and I left the door open, and he found his way to the door and ran out.
Oh, well, I hope he got back to his mom.
But he didn't have any blood. I didn't see any blood.
Yeah.
So
Well, sometimes the little geckos get in the house down here. And, when we had cats in the house, I had to try to get the gecko out because the cat would chase down the gecko, play with it, and then eat it. And so I had to try to, because I just didn't want, you know, I didn't want to deal with that or have the kids have to. But yeah, we used to frequently people down here will get little lizards in the house. And so then you have to figure out, how to try. My thing is always let's try to be as humane and nice as we get the lizard like in a box and take it outside. But yeah, when I had the cats, it's just the rush is on because if my husband didn't get to it before the cat didn't, it was just gone because the cats will. It's like a toy for them, the little lizard crawling around. So
wow,
yeah.
Florida sounds like you're living in like the rainforest or the jungle or something, right? Everybody down there in Florida just has to fend for themselves.
Crazy. I mean, I still think the craziest thing though was to see a crab walking across the parking lot. It's like,
yeah, that would do it for me too. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And he's probably just like,
But if you see that, I think it's online. You can see like a crab that has a knife. I don't know what that is. You just search up crab with a knife. And it just kind of reminded me of that. But of course, the crab's just walking around. Like, aren't you kind of far from the water? What are you doing?
Well, maybe he had a plan. I'm sure he had a plan in place.
Yeah. So just be careful. Everybody likes to come down here for vacation. Come, but just be aware. So there's ponds like near where I live, and there's signs up saying, don't go in the water because there may be gators in there. I've never seen any though. I don't know if they're just trying to keep people out of the water for other reasons, but it's like signs up saying, or maybe it's just for liability issues. Like, don't go if you go in the water, gator gets you. Don't do it.
Wow.
And then the brain eating amoebas, Rick. I don't know how much. Seriously, fresh water down here, do not swim in it, okay? Because a very serious note, they do have brain eating amoebas. They will swim into your ear, and very rarely are they caught before it's
Is this the wild frontier? Is this
out? No, this is seriously. This is a PSA. If you come down here, fine, enjoy the ocean, but do not fresh bodies of water. Do not swim in them, seriously, because it's too warm down here, and that's why they grow in there. And sadly, it often happens to people, and they will get one in their ear, and it's just a bad situation.
Nice safety tip. All right,
salt water fine, fresh water no.
Okay. It's like the settlers going out and just it's like when they went out west and everybody's just dealing with, wow.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Florida.
Yeah.
Welcome to Florida.
Don't do that.
The Sunshine State. Wow.
Got them made of hardy stuff, Rick.
Yeah, apparently. All right. Good stuff, Mara. By the way, have you had gator bites?
No. I've never eaten gator. I've heard it's good though, but I've just never had it. Okay. Have you?
No, Mike Burnip raves about them, but I have not had them. No.
Yeah.
No.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't try it. I might try it, but I just haven't yet.
I'm curious. Yeah, very curious.
Probably can't get it there, but
no.
Can you get it? No, probably not.
So go watch the Carolina graduation thing. See what you think.
Okay, I will see. I'm sure it's a great speech. I'll try to listen to it this morning.
Well, we had a bunch of people endorsing it, so it's got to be good. Mm-hmm. I trust chat. So
yeah.
All right. You have a great rest of the week. And tell your youngins congratulations on finishing the school year.
Yes, I will.
All right. Be good. Tell the family I said hey. All right. Good stuff.
See you later. Bye-bye.
There you go. Marva in Miami. Killer bikinis, gators, iguanas, mosquitoes, cockroaches, and snakes. Steve-O's list. Now you see why I moved from Fort Lauderdale to North Florida. I would have looked like an alien if I stayed longer. Gator bites are great. What's up, Hot Rod? Gator bites. Okay. Hot Rod likes the gator bites. Okay. Thanks to Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997, located at 300 North Franklin Street. Give James a call, 540-381-8011. The NRB Super Bowl. That's where we're going to be holding our bash with Morris, 382-5525. Reach out to them today. Reserve your lane. Sundown Electric, excellent reputation, long list of satisfied clients, test of their superior craftsmanship, great communication, the best. They do the best work. Bob Christ 11, CRIST 11 at Gmail. ReadySetFund.com. Your organization, school group, school team, whatever it might be, can raise money in a heartbeat. Travis Williams, Professional Door Incorporated, are always popping text line. It's crazy. Residential, commercial garage doors, family owned and operated, 38 years in business. Thanks, Trav. My bank, National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of me and this program. Thanks to Larry Ramsey. Great people. Great people. The attorney Ryan Pry, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning, BDST fan question of the week. What is going to be our fan question of the week? The River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. I feel like it has to be food related at this point. 540-553-2971. It's going to be warm for a while now, so get your air units checked. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment, and we appreciate Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. Next race, I think, is the 30th I saw. Next event at the track. Mention Family Fencing, 540-200-8294, sponsor of our studio. Give them a call for a free quote. And McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hunley, 155 Walters Drive. Go see Mark and all of his latest technology to help you feel good. What's up, Hot Rod? Hope you're well. Just eat the damn gator bites. They taste like chicken. Where do you get gator bites? Can you get them around here? I mean, I'm not avoiding them. I'll try, I'm sure. I just don't know where I would get a gator bite. I don't know. I mean, would you just buy them frozen somewhere here and eat them? Would that be the same? They used to have gator bites, Tebow says, at Boudreaux's in Blacksburg. Okay. Boudreaux's. I remember Boudreaux's. Yeah. Okay. The show's been on so long. I remember Marva talking about the first day of school. Yeah, what was it, August 18th when we started? All over the place. Yeah, I bet they are in South Carolina. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to be traveling some here in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, maybe I'll try to find them. Everybody's loving the gator bites. Oh, the Munsters car was really cool, Wayne. Really, really cool. That was awesome. I hope that was a purchase. Some things you don't have to think about. You just go, yep, getting them. Going to grab them. Good stuff. Chat's popping today. We had people from all over the world chiming in today. What's up, Brian? Good morning.
What's going on, Rick? We talking gator bites?
Yeah, man. What about you? We're talking all sorts of stuff this morning. What about you? Have you had gator bites?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Here we go, folks. Of course. Man of the
it.
world. Okay, so explain to me about the gator bites. What kind did you have, and what did it taste like, and all that good stuff? Mike Burnett brings them up all the time, so I'm curious.
You know, I've had them battered and deep fried as like an appetizer, and I mean they're solid. They little bit of a different flavor overall, but I mean like everything, like chicken is the closest like everyday food that you can compare it to, but it's a little different than that, and you know. I don't know if you call it gamey, but definitely a
gamey,
different type. Yeah. Like if you think about a gamey chicken, it's kind of in that ballpark. But I mean, I liked it. The seasoning is good. The sauce they usually put with it is nice little like Cajun sauce usually, and it's really good.
What's something you've had in all your travels or whatever, and you thought you'd never like it or you wouldn't try it, and you end up going, "Wow, this is pretty good."
Oh man, that's a great question.
Like. Something that sounded like, oh, I would never touch that. And then you're like,
Probably escargot.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not had that.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, it was kind of it was packaged together in like a little mushroom cap with some other nice seasonings and some oil on the top, and it was good. It was good.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I could just be digging it out of the.
Yeah, I haven't went that route yet, so yeah, that may be a different experience. But yeah, the way it was prepared for me was pretty solid.
I had not a lot, but I had some caviar once on crackers. Yeah. I never understood how fish eggs was like something that people said was a delicacy, and when I had a couple, I was like, okay, I get that now. I get that. It was an interesting little taste. Not that I'm going to eat them all the time, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah, I like I like that on a little bit of that on some sushi from time to time. Like you can get certain sushi rolls that have a little bit on top just to little extra pop of flavor there.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. That's kind of the way the morning has gone. We didn't mean for it to go in that direction, but we've had all sorts of response from all this. But what's going on with the Boundary Corner? Are you guys going tonight, or is that tomorrow? When are you guys going again?
We are looking to line up an interview for next week, so that's the next time you will see us. We'll get to talk a little bit more in depth about Peter Bork. We kind of talked about it before it happened last week, and that was probably the biggest news on the Hokie front as the week wrapped up last week. Closing on Peter Bork, getting that commitment, and we'll see how the Hokies can carry that through until signing day.
Yeah, see if he actually gets here, and it's going to be interesting to see what impact he may have. We had Coach Elmo break down his film, which he does so well. That's what he does that from time to time, and he looked at him, and he liked a lot of what he saw, but he's a lot of work to be done. He still has another year of high school, playing in his private. So there's a lot of developmental time still there. Do people get so caught up in how people rate players before they wait to see what they're going to do in terms of their development? I think that seems to be the case here just because of certain accolades that he was giving and stars and so forth. We'll see, because I know when I talked to Bud Foster, he thinks the Nunes kid is going to be, or the Hune kid's going to be, he loves him. And I've heard more people say that. So did Coach Elmo. So what happens? They're not going to coexist on this roster together is what I'm saying.
Yeah. You figure you're going to ride out probably at least 2 years with Grunkmeyer. And then more than likely it's going to be, I don't even know if you'll have, the other two quarterbacks that are on the roster still on the roster by the time the next quarterback plays after that. So it's hard to say, but at the same time, when you look at the stars, I think regardless of what this kid does in his career, I think this is you take it as a win, even for just the motion and the juice that the
marketing, 100%,
the class needed. And I think that's something that helps you sell to the rest of the class as well. When you look at other guys, you got the tight end, I think down in Georgia that we're pretty high on, and he's pretty high on us. We got a couple other, wideouts that we're targeting in this class. We got a running back that's committing tomorrow for a star that we're pushing hard for. When you get a quarterback that's the number 7 quarterback in the country, that has a trickle-down effect for the class, kind of regardless of what ends up happening in their career once they're in Blacksburg.
Yeah. And he's got to get through this last year. And I just saw yesterday there were like 5 flips from, Indiana had a flip, a cornerback who's one of the highest-rated cornerbacks. He'd been committed since January. He decommitted, which means he's got a bigger cash offer somewhere. And I saw a defensive lineman from Alabama. I mean, this stuff's happening, and that's the thing about it. Commitments don't mean anything until they're signed. Just like that's the one thing that hasn't changed, right? You can commit, but until you sign, it doesn't mean anything, right?
It's true.
So,
it's true, and it's really it's funny to see how that trickle down effect operates too, because you get one school that'll steal this guy, so now you've got to steal a guy from somewhere else, or potentially go further down your board than you would like to. So you start throwing cash at people that maybe you didn't expect to throw money at just to get them to commit to your school. So it's really interesting the way the recruiting is now, especially high school. But at the same time, I think Virginia Tech is navigating it fairly well so far. We'll see how the rest of this class shakes out. But I mean, when you're sitting kind of in the mid-teens this time of year, apples to apples, that average recruiting ranking is looking pretty good as well. So, you feel pretty good about where the class is overall, especially after a big commitment from Bork. So, hopefully we can put together a pretty good season this year and close these deals out and get ready for an even better run the following year once we get some more kids in the door.
Well, and it was interesting yesterday with Todd Grantham. He's now the defensive coordinator at UAB, talking about how in their case there was one kid that was kind of flying under the radar that they were getting ready to have commit to them, right? Well, somebody copied and pasted, Coach Grantham's Twitter and UAB football, and then some Power Fours noticed this kid, and they started going, So all of a sudden they started talking to him. Well, he ended up getting much bigger money offers. I think he committed to an SEC school about 2 weeks after it got out there. It's interesting how that's happening now too. A lot of guys flying under the radar. Not saying that Bork's that guy because everybody knew about him, but it's amazing. We've seen social media now. If these scouting departments missed a kid, or let's check him out and see what maybe he can do. And so UAB lost him, and I thought that was an interesting. I guess that makes sense, but I don't think about that a lot. But yeah, you just posted a guy's interested and might be close to committing to a G5, and then somebody's going to take interest and look into him, right?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and that tells you the speed that things move now, because with NIL and with obviously that instant media attention that comes from like those, just a viral tweet or some sort of viral post from somebody. A guy goes from a relative unknown to the greater power forward to all of a sudden there's a bidding war for him. And that can happen overnight. It's really interesting to see the speed with which these things move now. Thanks to things like social media and just the fact that NIL gives more. I think it gives more schools an opportunity to get in on a kid that maybe in prior years they wouldn't have had a chance to, because if you just want to prioritize where you're spending your money, you can do that now, and go after, a kid. And as long as you've got enough of the other things for that kid to be, want to go to that school, then, you can make that play. Now, obviously that's, a lot of that's putting a lot of your eggs in one basket, for some of these schools, but yeah, it definitely gives schools the opportunity to target those high profile players that, could change the motion of their school. Yeah. And, at that point you gotta just put the kids out there and see how it works out.
Well, that's right. That's right. You only do what you can do. You can do your work, get that commitment going into their final year, knowing you're not going to sign anybody now. And hopefully it happens. Hopefully they stay there, but that's always kind of been the case, but there's more purging now than I feel like there used to be, just because of social media, just because of the story that Todd told us. It just seems like that's now a recruiting tool for schools that may not be doing their due diligence and so forth. So
you got to keep your ear to the ground in all the ways that are available to you if you're recruiting high school kids, especially because there's so little just out there available a lot of times, and there's so many kids to kind of sift through. I think you kind of use as many resources as you have available to you, and social media has definitely become one of them.
So when you look at the 2014 playoff, right, it seems like the only two entities not for this now all of a sudden are ESPN, who doesn't want to lose any game rights, and the SEC is kind of acting like they're pushing back. Do we believe any of this from the SEC? Because they know that if they get 6 or 7 teams in the playoff annually, that's a lot more money, a lot more distribution money. What are you buying and not buying with what we're seeing? Everybody else seems to be on board. The other 3 leagues are on board. We're waiting on the SEC to finally say yes. But they're anybody you see from ESPN's talking about, it's been told, you got to act like this is the terrible thing, right? So
yeah, it's kind of funny, and my instincts are telling me I don't want 24, but then the feedback I'm getting is like, okay, well, if the SEC doesn't want 24 and ESPN doesn't want 24, maybe I should want 24.
Maybe 24 is going to be good. Exactly. Exactly.
But at the same time, I think 24 is definitely it's too many for me. Just from a competition standpoint, I feel like 12 is kind of the perfect balance if you can figure out the way to schedule that in a way that still gives New Year's priority and things like that. And I feel like we haven't really gotten there yet. But I think 12 is good. I think 16 is probably as high as I'd want to go in my head. But at the same time, I think there's some game playing with the SEC and ESPN that I'm not quite certain. I think I know ESPN's motivations. I'm not certain on what SEC. I'm the only thing I can guess is that they know at some point more leagues are going to get more teams in at 24 than they are at 12. They stand a chance of getting 3 in a lot of years at 12. I don't think they're going to go much higher than 4 if you go to 24. So their percentage of teams in isn't necessarily improving with a higher competition level and a greater number of teams in the field.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for Sankey to try to dig in on this because he was the guy leading the charge for the expansion of the basketball tournament, which we got. He was the first one about a year and a half ago to go, yeah, this has to happen. What are we doing? Yeah. So all of a sudden the money-making sport, this is directly because he's had, conversations with the ESPN, who's, their back pocket. So that's why that it's not going to matter what the SEC thinks. The coaches have already voted, and we'll see what happens down the road here. So I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not. It wouldn't be the. I don't think it's the end of college football, like some people are saying. It's like this is going to ruin college football. I don't think that's the situation. If you get to 24, at the same time, I just personally think if we keep playing this game of, and this is something Jim Phillips said. He had. He was talking about, Notre Dame deserved to be in this year. They had the resume to be in. And I'm like, okay, so because one team had a resume to get in, we're going to double the field. Got it.
Right. Yeah. Jim Phillips. Yeah. He's not the best at his job. He's not. Because we looked it up, this whole revenue thing that he's, Miami got to keep the revenue, right? There was no revenue share for them making the national championship game.
Yep.
That's the thing about it. No revenue share. So they kept it all because he's got that program in place, right, to reward the teams that win. You get to keep looking back on it, man. I know that's a way for him to try to keep teams in the league, but how short-sighted was that when you look at the payout or lack thereof compared to the ACC, to the SEC, and the Big Ten,
Yeah, I mean – it's one of those things where I don't even know if that was even needed to keep, a Miami or an FSU or a Clemson in the fold, just because I feel like there were already enough protections in the deal itself that I don't think that you'd have gotten to a point where they could have afforded to leave. Especially FSU with, still paying multiple coaches and things like that. Like, I don't think they really were in a position to be able to leave the league. So I think it was one of those, it was like a concession just for concession's sake.
Yeah, I agree.
They didn't really even need to go down that route because they held most of the cards already. I don't think the FSU bargaining chip was really what they thought it was. So they gave a concession just to do it to these teams, and now all of a sudden, you kind of painted yourself into a corner a little bit relative to your competition.
Yeah, agreed. Well, it'd be great, obviously, if Tech ended up being that team right next year. They could keep it all. They could keep it all, and they would. But doesn't benefit everybody else the way that other leagues are seeing these payouts. But it's very interesting to see. How concerned are you with gambling? Did you see some of this stuff? I've been told there are 300 cases that are going to be. There's so many going on, man, and it's starting to pop up everywhere. This is. I don't know how in the world they lasso this. In college, I'm talking about college athletics, just solely college athletics, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's become a big problem, and I don't really. It's hard to put the genie back in the bottle.
No, I know.
In the irony of some of these stories that are coming out on this with ads, for gambling in the middle of the article. And I'm like, all right, so I guess irony is completely lost at this point. I know those are dynamically placed. I get it, but like at the same time, it's just funny. Yeah, it's a problem, and I don't really know. I don't really know how they're going to get a handle on it because I don't see a complete rollback of any of these rules. Maybe you see a pinching of how some of these online transactions are started, funded, validated. There may be some of that starts coming into play. But I mean, most of these kids are already that even though they're doing something that you would consider dumb, which is going against a bylaw here. They're still probably most of them are doing it in a you would call it a smart way, in that they aren't like they don't have their name on their account going out there and placing a bet in their name and all like something.
Yeah, right.
They're using some back channels of some sort, even within the more legal framework that exists to cover their tracks a little bit. But at the same time, it's coming back to bite a lot of them, and it's an interesting dynamic, just because in an age where college athletes are making more than they ever have, we're seeing this become more and more prevalent.
100%. And the Sorsby kid now is filed an injunction trying to get his eligibility back. I don't see how that's going to happen. We'll see how all this plays out. But it is it's got to be frightening for everybody.
Did you see that he was like betting on everything, like
everything.
Yeah.
He said that he was making, at times, he would get up in the morning, or wake up in the morning, and before he even crawled out of bed, he was placing 100 bets. That blows my mind. And that's obviously a massive addiction. Yeah, how about that? I don't know how you let him back under center. I don't know how you do that. Pete Rose has never made it in the Hall of Fame because of what he did. So how do you? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, brother. So next week, right? Special guest next week.
Yeah, we're lining something up. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out there on X, on Facebook, on YouTube. We'll be live once we go. We'll make an announcement here in the next couple of days of who we got lined up for you.
Okay, man. We'll keep an eye out for it. Appreciate you, brother, as always. Good discussion, man.
Awesome, Rick. Have a good one.
All right, brother. You too. Have a good Tuesday. There you go, Brian Siegel. The gambling thing is a big problem. I think it's so big that they're covering up, not covering it up, but they're withholding a lot more evidence than they have. We'll get an update here soon. All Division I schools, regardless of the size, get an update from the task force that's assigned to gambling and monitoring activity. And there's a lot we get on that report that's not reported. And I will report it to you because it's knowledge that we're being shared with. I don't think you should run from that information. You need to see it for what it is. So we should find that out during the summer. That's what happened last year. And it was striking. And especially at our level, the mid-major level, there is a whole lot of it going on. So I'll let you know what those numbers look like. They do have a pretty good group. I'll say this, as screwed up as the NCAA is, it is terrible. They do have a pretty good agency in there reporting, catching, monitoring the gambling activity that's going on from college athletes, coaches, administrators, whatever it might be. And this is contradictory, obviously, of what let's just say this, as much as you credit the agency. Remember when the NCAA had the idiotic mindset, oh, by the way, we're going to let you gamble. Just don't bet on college sports. Remember that? It didn't last long, much like the dreaded ESPN bet. When they were talking about all the betting going on in sports, you can't make it up, all the screenshots, all the memes on X, and yet underneath on the scroll, ESPN Bet had one of those little live graphics. Hey, sign up for ESPN Bet right now. And they had a guy like rolling dice. Meanwhile, they're sitting there trying to act like one of these horrible talking head shows they have. try to talk about the dangers of gambling. It was just so perfect. It's so ESPN, so typical. But this is the same NCAA who had to, walk that back. Oh, now we're going to say you can't gamble anymore. Just craziness. And they walked it back because I'm sure they were getting pressure from a lot of the gambling app partners they have, casino partners, about, hey, you're always talking bad against us. Why should we continue to support your schools and give you that money, right? It's always about money. Like Rodney said, it's all money. It's all money. This is going to be an unpopular take. I want to get your take. Mike Burnett, by the way, joins us at 8. I'm not necessarily bothered by 2014 playoff. Is that just me? I thought I would be more upset by it, but I don't sit around thinking this is going to be the end for all for college athletics or college football. There's so many other things that's ruining college football. The least of which for me is doubling the playoff field. What we have out of the portal, what we have now with schools going bankrupt, not just athletic departments, the lack of commitment, the coaches' salaries, and everything completely out of control. I thought I would be more bothered by the 2014 playoff, but I'm not. I'm more bothered by the NCAA expansion, the tournament, basketball tournament, because I thought it was our most perfect event. It didn't need to be touched because it's just so perfect, and you already have a lot of teams in. So you're going to let more in for the sake of money. It's clearly a money grab. They're already estimating $350 million just in revenue, new revenue dollars next year. But I don't sit around like a lot of people. Every time you open up X, they're talking about the 2014 playoff, how horrible it's going to be. And you know what? Maybe it does water it down. But what does that mean? The NFL expanded its playoffs to 7 teams per conference, right? And a lot of times that 7 team will go on a run, make it to the conference final. Hell, may even go to the Super Bowl. Who knows? I don't think it's watered down the NFL playoffs. And it's still college football. Yeah, I think they had this knee-jerk reaction from this, and I agree. Hey, we're going to have to cancel the championship games. No, you just don't take all this stupid time off. And I don't want to hear about, well, that's a lot of games. These guys are going to college to play football. They're not. Don't. I hate those arguments. They're not accurate. You're going back old school. I don't agree with them. I wish it were the way you're arguing, but this isn't about academics. These are professional football players in college football now. So let's just say it the way it is. Let's stop acting like it's too much football. What about their bodies? Okay, they get a bye week or 2 now, just like the NFL. They're trained to do this. They're getting paid to do this. This is essentially their job. I don't have any sympathy for the argument, well, if they play a conference championship game, then expand the playoff, that's a lot of games. Okay. Most of these guys have aspirations to play at the next level anyway. But I think you're going to have a hard time crowning champions without a conference title game. What if you have 2 teams that tied and one team played an easy schedule like Virginia, and then the other team had the same record and had a really tough schedule, and you're not playing a championship game? Who do you get? Co-champions? I just won an ACC championship and college football playoff berth for VT. Now with 24, there's no excuse. Well, that's right. That opens things up. Look at some of the teams. I've posted a lot on the show Facebook page about what it would have looked like last year, who would have gotten in. Yeah, I wish the Power 4 schools would stop playing for non-com. Yeah, the SEC does that a whole lot. Now, it's big paydays for those in-state schools, and usually it's in-state schools they're trying to help, right? But I don't know. This whole watered down thing. Look, the regular season is what it is. Fans are not going to stop going to games. Fans are not going to stop selling out Lane Stadium because there's a 24-team playoff. Well, I would have gone to that Tech Notre Dame game, but I just, the 24-team playoff just completely took me out of it. And that's not going to happen. Just not going to happen. So I don't know. I'm not as bothered by it as I thought I would be. On the surface, I thought I'd be bothered by it. But there is something to what Brian and I talked about. If ESPN, who is so adamantly against it, every one of their prominent game day talking heads talking about how bad this is going to be for the sport. Oh, they got to walk this back. If ESPN is putting its line in the sand against it, then that immediately makes me think we need to do it. I'm sorry. They have zero credibility other than the massive billions of Disney money that backs them and what they want to purchase. They're only going to defend their self-interest. They don't care about college football. If ESPN cared about college football, they wouldn't have done all the things they have now to undermine certain other conferences. As long as they control the temperate environment of television and have all the games, sure, they're going to support it. But as soon as they lose that, well, we can't have that. We can't have people watching these games on CBS or Fox. Can't do that. Yeah, exactly, Ryan. That's what they want. And Fox is ready to rock and roll. The Big Ten immediately said, let's do it. But what's interesting is, though, the ACC is all for it. Now, they're also partners of ESPN. ESPN has never treated the ACC, in my opinion, the way it deserves. The ACC network is an absolute joke. It was given because it was promised. They put nothing into it. Hell, we've even had Wes Durham on the show, and he's talked about that's why he left his show, just to do games. One of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons. They haven't given the ACC 25% of the effort they give toward the SEC. But yet, the ACC came out adamantly when the Big 12 and the Big 10 came out and said, we're all for it, let's do it. And the SEC is like, whoa, wait a minute. But in the end, the SEC is going to not stand by its television partner because they're going to have more teams available to be part of this. Like we're seeing here in chat, people excited about potentially Tech being one of those teams. So, yeah, I get it. And that's the kind of the way I look at it. Okay, there's more games. I would rather watch an extended playoff than I would teams who would be left out of the playoff playing in worthless bowl games with all these opt-outs. And this is kind of my thought on this. Half your roster on the average probably going forward is going to opt out of bowl games. And they don't matter at all if you're not in the playoffs. Guys are not going to opt out. Well, maybe I'm not going to say every player, but the high majority of your roster, if it's a playoff game, is going to stay intact. I'd much rather watch football in December and early January like that than I would watching some secondary or third-rate bowl with teams who are just playing for whatever, with a lot of guys who didn't play in the regular season. I mean, it's just an exhibition game. It's just like a preseason NFL game. And that's all the bowls are now, the non-playoff bowls. So why not? Why not incorporate some of those bowls in an extended playoff? What's the difference? Those guys are practicing football the weeks leading up to the bowl game. The only difference is you're playing a game now every weekend, or just about every weekend, after you've practiced all week. So that whole argument is just, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's an empty concern that they're sharing to try to back their, hey, we don't need this right now. I would rather see it settle in at 16. I think 16 is perfect. I mean, the FCS has done it for how long? Without any controversy, without any problem, without any, reports of players' health because of the extra games. If you go through and win the Sweet 16 of the FCS, we don't hear horror stories about those teams not being able to manage it, right? Because it's been part of their MO for how long now? Those playoffs are very good. If you get into those early rounds, those playoffs are fun to watch because it means something and the players play like it means something. Well, in my opinion, if you're going to extend the playoff, and now we've talked about this a lot, right, with our guests and with you in chat and on the text line, these guys are making so much money. If they're already getting their checks, what's going to make them care about games that don't mean anything? You think they're going to put forth the same effort if their team, they're getting paid a high amount of money and that's why they didn't leave, is not playing in the playoff? Well, if you have a playoff and they're getting paid, they're going to be motivated, I would think, to show the NFL what they can do in a high-pressure situation. So there's some innate advantages to extending the playoff, too. It's not just all this negativity that you're seeing on. There's always two arguments to things. That's what's wrong with this country right now. We're so split politically, you only look at your argument. You do completely ignore any other argument instead of hearing both sides and realizing that maybe, both sides have a huge issue, right? Well, that's the way it is here. I understand why people say it's watered down. I get it. This whole ruining of the game. There's a hell of a lot of other stuff going on right now in college athletics that's ruining the sports, football in particular, than an extended playoff. The gambling being a big factor. Unlimited movement, out of control salaries, out of control coaches' salaries and buyouts. Whatever it might be. Expanding the playoff isn't really high on that list, in my opinion. So anyway, I'd rather see meaningful games in December than reading about all these opt-outs. Guys who want to get in the portal, guys who want to start planning on their NFL future, whatever it might be. Let's go play a game that the stands will be luckily half full. Right? Right? We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, I'm not really worried about 2014 playoff with everything else that's going on in college athletics. Not in all cases, Chris, because bowl games are considered extra. Right? Those contracts, if they're specifically worded that way, yes, that is correct. It depends on the wording. I would think that now schools are getting a little more, I would hope, they're getting a little more smart, educated about how they word that, to include that. If you decide to opt out, you don't get but a certain percentage of your last payment. Right? And that's been the argument all along from these guys who started it out. I'm trying to think, when did this thing become a trend? This thing's been a trend for a while, hasn't it? Opt-outs? It was before the era of pay for play. But I guess the one I remember the most was Christian McCaffrey Remember him? The star for the 49ers. He opted out of his bowl game to get ready for the NFL draft. And I remember him just saying, I played my regular season. Bowl games, he said it. They're just exhibition. They're extra games. So, and then that trend, they jumped, that thing started to become bigger and bigger and bigger. That whole train kept it rolling. So, yeah, I would hope schools are being smarter about the wording. Sure. It's the only way to prevent it if you're not playing in a meaningful game. It's really the only way to prevent it. And a lot of guys aren't making enough money to make it matter. They may feel like if they go to the portal, get in there early, save themselves a little bit. I don't know. These agents are working against a lot of these kids' best interests too. You know that as well as anybody, Chris. I mean, there's a lot of good ones, but there's a lot of bad advice. A lot of bad advice that's been given. I hear most of it from the basketball side. And Dwight's talked about it a lot. What he went through with his son and what he heard, some horror stories about some of these agents and stuff. It's a very interesting world we've evolved in, college athletics. And there's not a lot of it good right now. Not a lot of it good. More and more programs are being shelved in schools. I read the numbers yesterday about the universities themselves. Don't even worry about the athletic department. That Clemson debt got a lot of play yesterday. We talked about it yesterday, and I bet you I saw it on 50 stories on X. That over $2 billion or almost $2 billion in debt, whatever it was, from the university standpoint. Wow. Unsustainable. Unsustainable. I want to thank Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hunley, 155 Walters Drive. Go over there and get popped and cracked and corrected. Professional Incorporated, sponsor of our text line. Thanks to Travis Williams, 540-391-078. Commercial residential garage doors, the best. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street. Now, many of you have called that number, 553-2971, and you've told me. We need a question, by the way. What's our BDST fan question of the week? The attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford. Ryan, you had an idea. What was it? What was your idea from last week? Remember, we shelved it because we had a good one going with the movies. What was your question last week? We said we were going to use it this week. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of yours truly and this program. ReadySetFund.com. Not all the money is used to pay the agent. ReadySetFund.com for your organization to raise a lot of money. Email Bob Chris if you have more questions. CRST11@gmail. He's great. Sundown Electric, the Smith Brothers. Excellent reputation, long list of satisfied clients, attest to superior craftsmanship, attention to detail, clear communication, honest. And the NRV Super Bowl is where we're doing our bash, 540-382-5525. They've spent a lot of years at places, whatever you think a bowling alley's like, it's not when you go in there in all the best ways possible. And Lawson's Mobile Home Supply has been the place to go to for manufactured home parts since 1997. Your windows, your plumbing, doors, whatever it might be. Plus, they install 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. James Lawson is the owner, and they have done it a long time. 381-8011. 381-8011. Thanks to James and all of our great sponsors. Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. Great stuff. Great stuff. We've had this has been fun. We've had really good discussions here the last couple of days. Chat, you're the best. All you peeps are the best. are the best. Mike Burnup scheduled to join us here. Just a moment. And then we've altered some things for tomorrow. So we got a lot going on here in the program. Got to meet some really cool people early in chat. Hope they stay subscribed and hang around a little bit. People contributing from all over the place. It's great. To go with our usual wonderful peeps here in chat. So yeah, I'm not, I guess when I sit back, I'm just not as, and I'm sure, like I said, ESPN such a hypocritical organization. I don't care. Like for instance, if you're a Tech fan and they make it to a 2014 playoff, are you going to worry that it's a 2014 playoff? Or are you going to go, wow, can't wait to get my tickets? And what if they're hosting a first round game? Are you going to care? Right? You're not. Is the answer. You're just going to be glad they're playing in a meaningful game in the postseason. So, I don't know. I mean, I understand the initial arguments against it. And I'm not saying they're not legitimate, but I don't find myself sitting around worried about it. Like a lot of people seem to spend every day trying to act like it's the death of college athletics. We're already there. We're already there. What's up, Mike Burnham? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Rick. How about you?
Doing all right. We've been talking about gator bites a lot this morning. You've kind of got our interest going on that. I brought that up in the first hour.
They are so good. Who would have think you could go get an alligator and get some good stuff out of that thing? Everything that an alligator eats.
Now, I will ask you this because people were saying, be sure to ask Mike. So take us into the tuna tips again. People are like,
oh my gosh.
So what do we got going on there?
So tuna tips are like their ahi tuna, and they're big old chunks of tuna, and they just barely sear them on both sides a little bit. So they come out medium rare, and literally you can cut them with your fork. Now you can just like stick your fork in the side of it and slice it down, dip it in a little jumbo sauce or whatever they call it. There's 2 or 3 different sauces this particular restaurant has, and man, is it good stuff. I mean, they're so tender and good for you. A lot of protein in tuna tips now.
Okay. All right. Well, and also, yeah, Wayne wanted me to ask you in chat. So let's talk about what was it, Wayne? Was it a sauce or a dip or something you would get down there from a particular store? What crab dip? It was.
Yeah, the smoked tuna dip.
Smoked tuna dip. Okay.
Smoked tuna dip. That stuff was delicious. You know, Rick, years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago, we used to go down there, and that was like $50 for a 5-pound tub.
That's right.
Yes, about $10 a pound. And then it kept going up and up and up. And last summer when we were down there, that stuff was $115 for a 5-pound tub. Yes.
Woo.
And I'm thinking, are they just sticking the tourists, the people that come in for the 4th of July or what? Wow. But no, I mean, that's been the price. They said, oh, fishing price has gone up. The cost of the processing's gone up, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it got a little bit pricey, but man, is it good. Yeah. We always splurge for one. Everybody kind of pitches in, and it doesn't last long, man. You get a Triscuit or a wheat thin or some kind of a cracker, whatever your particular cracker of choice is. But you take that stuff on there, and it is delicious. I'm telling you, it's hard you can't eat one. It's like 5 or 10 later.
That's right. That's right.
And you go in a restaurant, you get one scoop, like an ice cream scoop, or maybe 1 or 2 scoops, and it's like $15.95.
Yeah.
that and about 8 crackers.
So was it $115 still this past visit that you had?
I didn't get any because I was kind of we had a small crowd. It was just 2, a couple people there. So no, we didn't go with it because a 5-pound tub would last you a while, and you don't want it to go bad. So yeah, you can buy it in the smaller things, but it doesn't seem to taste quite as good as the big tub. I think they make it somewhere in Mississippi, I think.
Well, that's interesting. I thought people were talking about your menu when you were mentioning it last week. It kind of carried over for some reason into today. So people wanted me to ask you all these questions. Yeah,
smoked tuna dip is good, but boy, those tuna tips now, I'm telling you, they're good size too. I mean, those things are probably 3 or 4 ounces each. and then you just cut them. You get probably 4 or 5 on a plate, and they almost melt in your mouth. They're so daggone good.
Well, I think people are. I'm going to have to try the gator bites at some point. I'm going to have to do that because everybody's raving about them that's had them. So, are they gamey at all? Is there
Nah,
gaminess? No.
no, they were really good. The way they cooked them up, they were really good. You can get them made blackened, or you can get them made fried. Just depends on what you like. I remember a few years ago, Rick, we were at a football game. We were doing our tailgate show out on the street before the game. And there was a guy there that was some famous guy from Denver that came in, and he made all kind of hot dogs. And he made hot dogs out of rattlesnakes and all kinds of stuff, alligators. He bought some of that stuff over there, and I thought, do I try this before the game and then like start throwing up in the middle of the broadcast? That would not have been a pretty sight. But I mean, it was bizarre stuff like bear and alligator and rattlesnakes and and he made them all up into hot dogs. And
Yeah.
I tasted a few things that were really good, but I'm thinking, boy, I don't know about this.
That would have brought a new definition to buffet buddies, wouldn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
that would have changed things.
it might have been unbuffeted.
Yeah, sure. The unfortunate post buffet with Mike Burnett. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So last week, Tech got a big verbal from a quarterback, and we were talking about what it means now, whether he ends up being the guy or not. But the bottom line is, it's a high-rated kid that had a lot of recruiting interest, and the buzz that creates, Mike. Right? We talk about marketing and momentum and what that means. That's what that happens to your program when a guy like James Franklin is able to, get that kid to commit, because it makes its rounds all over, not just people who are covering, Virginia Tech and the ACC.
Yeah, we were together last night in Northern Virginia at the next stop of the Nova Hokie Club tour. Sold out again, Rick. I mean, it was packed. It was in a nice brewery up there, and I think it was in Aldie, Virginia, Lark Brewery. Beautiful place, well laid out. Great place. It was packed, and Daryl Tapp was there.
Oh,
So we
sweet.
we got to talk to him, do a little Q&A back and forth in front of the crowd, and that was awesome. He's assistant defensive line coach at the Washington Commanders.
Right.
Yeah, talked about Jalen Lane, our former receiver up there, punt returner and whatnot. He's having a great camp, or he did last year, had a great year, and he's looking forward to him coming back. And so, yeah, but we were talking to Coach Franklin, and he mentioned that. He said, I can't talk about names because these kids aren't signed yet. But he said that was a huge commitment for us. And he says, we've got so much momentum right now, and everybody's so excited about what's going to happen this fall. But that was a huge get. And he said, we might get another get tomorrow, he said. And they're looking forward to that. And I'm not sure, there's a couple out there that are making decisions, I think, today. And so he's excited, I think, about that as well. But yeah, it only takes 1 or 2 guys, back in the day when it was a Cornell Brown, that guy's going there. Well, they must have got something going. And so, yeah, these kids recruit their other kids that a lot of them know each other. So, but everybody's so excited and jacked up, the energy, the enthusiasm, momentum. It's off the charts right now. And I just hope it calculates into a bunch of wins this fall.
Yeah.
Again, he talked about that away schedule being tough and all those sorts of things, but the depth is so much better than it was. And, the hard part, Rick, is going to be, again, you get a commit like that, right? And you got 4 kids in there now that are pretty daggone good.
Yeah.
And it's going to be nearly impossible to keep all those.
Correct.
I mean, I'd venture to say at quarterback, we have probably more depth than most every team in the country. Certainly more than we've had in a long, long time. And you add this new piece to the puzzle next year, somebody's going to end up leaving. That. It's just a matter of time because they all think they can play and start somewhere else. So that's going to be the hard part, to keep them all happy.
Yeah, the guys are going to leave. And that's the thing. You make an addition, but you're going to have to absorb a subtraction from a player that you might be really high on right now. And I guess that's just the cost of doing business. And like you say, gaining momentum. And that's where the staff has to trust their evaluation, right? That's where that comes into play. Regardless of the money involved in paying them, it's got to be about the evaluation for the program at that point.
Yeah. So. And then, of course, the money is such a big factor. It's like Coach Franklin talked about last night. He said, people, he said they got on me and they criticized me and they blistered me and gave me a bunch of crap because we couldn't beat Ohio State. He said Ohio State's budget was so much more than Penn State's and everybody else. It's ridiculous. And it's the same kind of thing here. You get some of these kids now, right? Like look at Oregon, right? Look what they're paying their quarterback out there. And if you got the money, yeah, you can keep a bunch of kids happy because they're going to make more money in college than they're going to make as a first year NFL player, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So then it comes down to the money part of it, right? If you got so much momentum and people are buying into it and say, yeah, I think this thing's on the right track. Let's ante up. If we're sitting on the fence, yeah, let's put some more into it so they can keep these kids together. And so that'll be a big part of it too, moving forward.
That's right. That's right. Mike Burnett joining us on the program. Thanks to Louise Baker, Team Long and Foster Realtors. Now, that's exactly right. It's interesting that I like to hear that he's talking about what some of the big criticisms against him was up there at Penn State. That's nice self-awareness that he has about it instead of just always shying away. A lot of peak coaches or whatever will not want to talk about things like that. So it's kind of cool that he's opening up about that, right? Because I know that's got him a little bit of a chip on his shoulder because of that criticism. So.
Oh, it does, and no doubt he's got a big chip on his shoulder. But it's like he said last night. He said somebody told me. He said somebody asked him a question. He said, "We had 13 wins, and people were pissed at me." He said, they wanted a national. It was like national championship or nothing. And he said, "We win 13 games, and people are mad." He said, "Around here," he said, "everybody's excited, looking forward to the season." They weren't very good the last couple of years, but they were still having sellouts at Lane Stadium. He said the enthusiasm, the appreciation around here is just so much different and better. And I think he's looking forward to getting this fall going, getting the season going, and putting a good product on the field that people are going to like and appreciate and love. Because how it's been in the past. You're not winning a lot of games, but you're still filling that stadium up.
No, yeah. The Tech fan. I still go back to that Wofford game at 11 o'clock. It's Wofford, and they had 62,000. It blows my mind that crowd was that big.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's going to be that way this year. Tickets are going to be hard to find. I mean, somebody told me last night, he said, "I sure wish that the away schedule was the home schedule."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that would be nice. The league didn't do him any favors having to go to Boston, Miami, Cal, SMU, and Clemson. I mean, come on.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about this Brent Sorsby thing. The whole gambling, and all the schools get reports from this task force the NCAA has hired. About gambling. It's kind of frightening to see. We get it at Radford. Even some of the investigations, they don't go into detail, but they show you how many incidents, and we're talking hundreds and hundreds of things they're catching. Is this something that you think is going to eventually? I don't think there's any way you can get your arms around it, but Sorsby's trying to get back into the sport. I don't know how he signed for $6 million, allegedly $5 to $6 million at Texas Tech, and they put out the big marketing graphic and talked about, hey, we're going to keep it rolling here. And now this guy's caught up in a massive gambling scandal. What do you think is going to happen with all of this going forward in college sports?
I can't imagine that they're going to make it seem or make it be okay for him to play in college again.
Yeah,
I just can't imagine that's going to happen. And I think I saw, we were on the road yesterday, last night and all that, but I think I saw maybe on the ticker that he was filing a lawsuit, I guess, to get his eligibility.
Yep.
Well, I mean, yeah, you sure you would, because I don't care if you go that supplemental draft, which is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's not going to make that kind of money that he's going to make in college at the NFL. And so I'm sure he'd like to play next year and get his $5 or $6 million or whatever it is. I just can't imagine the NCAA knowing the history and the betting on games, the teams you were on at Indiana. I know it goes back to that.
Yeah.
And who knows how many other bets were placed on teams maybe that he was on or had a factor in. And so I just can't imagine the NCAA allowing that. But who knows? I mean, you get a good enough attorney, right? They'll find some kind of loophole, get an injunction, let him play, delay the court date. Before you know it, the season's over, he's played, and then he gets Texas Tech gets suspended, right?
Yeah, right.
They end up paying the price.
That's right.
Playing an ineligible player.
That's right. Yeah.
Forfeit all those victories. But we paid him $5 million.
Yeah, paid him that, but now you got to get rid of the games too. Yeah.
What a system we're in.
It's an epidemic. And let's go back to how idiotic it was when the NCAA said, well, you can gamble, but you can't gamble on college sport. It's just, and how they walked it back since then because they had to, but it's just crazy what's going on.
And then every broadcast you watch, every game, right? There's commercials on there about this betting site, and you get $100 free, and this. I mean, you can't lose your first bet. Yeah, blah blah blah. I mean, every time you turn around, they're just like inundating you with all this stuff about gambling.
I know.
And I mean, you can imagine. I'm just telling you, in basketball with 5 players, it would be so easy for some of those guys to whatever. Get sick, fake an injury, have something happen, potentially miss shots. I mean, it's hard to tell that how widespread some of that stuff could be when you got kids that are just out for the money or somebody gets in their head, right?
You're exactly right. And all the reports we see, we get them at Radford, it's about that. It's about basketball, mid-major basketball. It's about casual turnovers, right? You can be a point guard. Yeah. Oh, that's a bad pass. I'm not going to hustle back on defense, and there's a layup. That gets the point spread to a certain level. It needs to, things like that are happening. Missed shots, like you're saying, taking bad shots, whatever it might be.
It's so easy in basketball.
So easy.
It's a lot harder to cover up in football when you got 22 guys playing, and then you got your special teams guys as well. I mean, one guy can erase a lot of problems, right? But, yeah, you get in basketball with 5 of them, yeah, it's a lot easier. If you wanted to be crooked, you could.
Yeah, you're right. I guess in football, turnovers, fumbling, things like that, maybe. It's interesting. Missed tackles, maybe. I don't know. Making it look good on film, but really you didn't make the effort that you should have made to make a play or two. I don't know. It's a real problem, though. Real problem going on right now.
Yeah.
How do you look at the 2014 playoff? How do you look at the 2014 playoff, Mike? I mean, a lot of ESPN. I got to the point where if ESPN doesn't like something, I think it's probably I go the opposite direction. They're obviously worried about their own self-interest. So, what do you think about the 2014 playoff? Is it going to be the detriment to college football that many of the opponents think it's going to be?
I don't know. I think it could be the end of the bowls. When you think about that, when you got 24 teams in playoffs. You're going to have to move the season up to the week 0. You're going to have to start earlier. But I don't know how you fit those bowl games in there, Rick, when you got 24 playoff teams I don't know who's be interested in it. It's like, it's the college football playoff or bust, right? Just like Notre Dame said last year. They didn't get in. They took their chips and went home, right? They didn't play. So if you go up to 24, I mean, I think it's great for teams or leagues like the ACC that can get more teams in, just like Notre Dame didn't get in last year. Florida State goes undefeated and doesn't get into playoff, those things like that. I mean, Miami, the same thing. I mean, they don't get in probably if UVA wins that game, and yet they go play for the whole thing, the whole ball of wax. So, I mean, I think it's good for the ACC that that probably can happen. But, the other leagues are the ones that control everything, the SEC, Big Ten. So I think their meetings are going on, in the Big Ten this week and the SEC after Memorial Day. Down in Destin, actually. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I think for sure it's probably going to pass, but I'm not sure what happens to the bowl games and a lot of the fallout from all that.
Yeah,
you got to get that schedule ended before the end of January. I mean, that's absurd.
100%. This time off, the extra time off is ridiculous. All these weeks off. Guys are practicing anyway. You might as well reward them with a game that means something at the end of the weekend, right? Or getting going to the weekend. It's the same thing.
I mean, you're into the flow anyway. You're into this routine, and all of a sudden you take all that time off, and then here you are. School started for the winter semester, and you're still playing games in the playoff, and which affects a lot of other things too. As far as kids want to leave or whatever, they want to come back or. There's so much other stuff going on, but they need to get that thing finished up quicker than last year and this year moving forward too. Because what is it, like January 24th, 5th, something like that?
Later this year. Yeah, a couple days later this year. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm with you. Well, those are things we can't control, but I think it's really the least of problems going on right now in college athletics, in particular college football, that to worry about an expanded playoff. People are talking about watering it down. I don't know. Like you just said, what's more of an atrocity? Florida State going undefeated and being told it can't play because their quarterback gets hurt, or
Yeah.
adding extra teams to a playoff that fans are going to watch and flock to. And if they've played in home stadiums, what they said they would be in the first round. So
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's it. And that was just a travesty for Florida State a few years ago that happened. But you understand it. I mean, it's big business, big money, and a lot of those teams is just like adding teams in the NCAA basketball tournaments. They're not going to have a chance, right?
Right.
they're just opening it up so everybody gets a trophy, like type thing. And so we'll see what happens. But I think it bodes well for a league like the ACC that's so much criticized and all that sort of stuff, and maybe to give an avenue for a place like Virginia Tech to be able to get in sooner than later.
Can you imagine the fervor, the atmosphere if Virginia Tech had a seed where they would host a first round? Can you imagine what? I mean, I can't even think about how the hype that would be and how people would feel about it. That would sell out so quickly.
Yeah, they really would. And you just the one thing you worry about though around here is the weather.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, you know how cold it gets sometimes in those late November games. Then you're sitting there in December, in the middle of December, end of December. It's like, whoa, it could be like really, really bad out there. But that's a good problem to have if you're still playing at that time of year. And
absolutely,
fans can put an extra couple layers on because they would absolutely go berserk if that happened. They would.
They would pay whatever it would pay to get in, and they're not going to sit there anytime watching that game, Mike, and going, well, I'm glad I'm here, but boy, I still don't like this 2014 playoff. That would never enter anybody's head, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing when you think about expanding too, is the strain on the fans, just like it was last year. Those teams are going like playing across country for one round of the playoff and back across country for the other round of the playoff. And the fans, I mean, my goodness, does that get expensive and old quick. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Could you incorporate, I just thought about this right now because you said that, Mike. Could you incorporate neutral sites for games, play them at different times, you think? Probably not because of the fan bases. Probably wouldn't work with it.
It may not work, but if you went half and half, in an indoor stadium, maybe an NFL stadium, that might work. Somewhere like in Atlanta, for example. But I don't know. I mean, there's certainly things to think about, and I know they're checking all these boxes off just to try to make it work. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
When's your next visit, Mike? Before we let you go, when's your next
visit? It's
kind
of funny, right? So tonight I got to go down to the Roanoke Valley Sports Clubs in Salem at the Civic Center. I'm speaking there tonight. That's there, and then next Wednesday, the 27th, I think we're in Richmond.
Okay.
And that's going to be at the Richmond Motor Speedway. That's going to be kind of cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, so we're going to have an event there. I think they're saying it might hold 750 people. So that'll be fun. And then they set the date for Roanoke too, finally. I think it was July the 13th, I think on a Monday maybe, at Hotel Roanoke. So I'm sure that'll sell out. So people need to be checking the website if they want to get tickets for that, because that'll sell out quick. Every one of these things is sold out so far, Rick.
Yeah, and that's going to continue. I think you're going to have a sellout summer. You're going to be like a Rolling Stones reunion tour. Everything's going to sell out.
Mick Jagger.
Exactly. Sell out. Well, good stuff. Well, have fun tonight, man. It's great you're speaking down at the Roanoke Sports Club, and thanks to Louise Baker as always. She want me to tell you hello? Yeah, we had lunch with her last week. She want me to tell you hello. So,
yeah, that was so much fun seeing her at Sports Club here in Blacksburg a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, she's great. Awesome. Maybe she'll show up tonight down in Salem. I never know.
She might. She shows up in a lot of places. She does. Yeah, surprise guest, Louise Baker. Well, knock them dead tonight, my friend. I know you will.
We'll have fun. It'll be a good time. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, take care of yourself, brother. Have a great week.
All right, Rick. Sounds good. You too.
Thanks, man.
See ya.
Mike Burnham, 44 years in the booth for Virginia Tech football. Great. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't think Tech fans are going to be worried much about 24 teams if they're at a game. Can you imagine Tech hosting Tennessee in the first round playoff game? The Oklahoma Sooners are coming to Blacksburg. I mean, just fill in the gap. Doesn't matter who it is. I don't know. I'm glad to see I didn't get ripped off. I thought people were going to be yelling at me about the 2014 playoff. It's not something I'm worried about. I think it's fine. It is what it is. If it goes to the end, I think Mike's right. I think it's going to get voted in, and I'm not going to sit there and have a coronary. I'm not going to get all, okay. The resistance is resistance for selfish interests, especially from ESPN. Sounds like airplane bottles of liquid courage might be needed for hosting a December playoff game. Now, I agree that to travel, JMU fan had a select group that could only go, to Oregon. And I don't know if neutral site areas would work or not. You couldn't play 2 games in the same place, I guess, the same day just because of the fan bases. I don't know. We want to host warm schools like Miami, FSU, LSU, Florida State. That's true. That's true. Well, regardless, Mike just said it. And think about it. What is more egregious heading into a college football postseason? Florida State winning all of its games, and then they had that lame-ass excuse, they did get punished a bit for losing their quarterback. Okay. They still won the ACC title game without him. So, in other words, you won 13 games. None of them meant a thing because you kept them out of the playoff. You basically played 13 games for nothing, or somebody who may have 3 or 4 losses getting into an extended tournament. Say Virginia Tech had a really good strength of schedule and they went 8-4. And they captured the number 22 or 24 seed even. Are any of you who are Tech fans going to worry about that record? Or are you going to go, wow, you know what? We're part of this tournament. How cool is that? The amount of money it's going to bring to the communities. Now, they may have to travel that first game, but Tech fan travels well. I don't know how all that gets sorted out. I don't. And I know you are adding extra costs with extra travel. I get that, but it feels like the money that's going to be made by an extended playoff would be distributed to offset that to the schools who participate. Can't there be some kind of forethought to create that too, right? All right, here are our 24 teams. Here's what we're estimating your cost is going to be. If you win, you keep winning. You have to travel. You have to feed your – all right, so the contract that we come up with for the new 2014 playoff is going to take care specifically of the teams in the playoff. Why not? Why not think a little out of the box instead of always looking at it just from a linear perspective as we adjust things to try to make it, I guess, remotely enticing going forward? Why can't we adjust things? We're adjusting everything else about college athletics. Why not do things that make sense? And if money's the bottom line on everything, which it always is, why not come up with a way to help and placate the schools who are involved if it expands to 24? Anyway, the gambling things going on with a high-profile player like Sorsby should be much more concerned to these people who are getting on their soapboxes about and pounding the desk against the 2014 playoff. I don't see them getting that upset about gambling ties and accusations. I don't see them getting all upset. You know why? Because they're just worried about their own self-interest. And there's nothing sacred anymore. Don't talk to me about tradition. Don't talk to me about any of these other things. Doesn't matter. All right, let's do that, Wayne. Our BDST fan question of the week. Food related. What is mandatory food you have to have at a sporting event? Or it can be specific like baseball. All right, let's do it this way. Yeah, let's do it that way. Let's throw out tailgating. But if you're in game, baseball, football. Let's just keep it at baseball, football. If you're a baseball, football game and you just get hungry, well, that's a good one for our BDST attorney Ryan Pry fan question of the week. What is your mandatory food you have to have? Let's go with that. All right, good one. We've been talking about food all morning, so I think this will fit right in. Hit me up on the Professional Door text line or DM me with your answers. All right, good stuff today. Tomorrow we slide over the hump Wednesday here on the program. Beer, hot dog. Yeah, hot dog would be my answer too. People are already putting their visits, their brisket. See, this will be fun. We may not get 168 answers like we did last week, but we'll get a lot. Thank you. That's a good one, Wayne. We'll go with that. Don't count tailgating. We're talking about when you're a patron, you're sitting in your seat, and you get a hankering for a snack, and you're hungry. Good stuff today, everybody. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow on the Wednesday edition. Thanks to our guests. Thanks to Marva. Thanks to Brian Siegler, Mike Burnup. And we'll holler at you then.